हुआ है, तुम्हारे साथ भी हुआ है, इट्स नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम, बट नेक्स्ट टाइम से ना डोंट रिपीट इट. ग्रेट और गुड प्लेयर में यही डिफरेंस होता है. ग्रेट प्लेयर डजंट रिपीट द सेम मिस्टेक अगेन एंड अगेन. तो वो जो सेम मिस्टेक भी होगा ना, उसके बीच का ड्यूरेशन बड़ा होता है. अ गुड प्लेयर का ड्यूरेशन थोड़ा कम होगा. एवरेज या खराब प्लेयर होगा ना, तो हर मैच में ही आ कोई बात नहीं. सो दैट्स हाउ इट इज.
But you will make them aware at that point.
They should know. बिकॉज क्रिकेट में एक चीज और मैंने देखी है, कॉमन सेंस इज नॉट कॉमन. आई थिंक लाइफ में भी एप्लीकेबल. सो कई बार हम गलती कर देते हैं, यार ये तो बहुत कॉमन मिस्टेक है, समझ गया होगा. कई बार नहीं समझते लोग. तो इसीलिए टू अंडरस्टैंड द इंडिविजुअल इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. टीम में कौन कैसा है. कुछ लोगों को प्रेशर पसंद होता है, कुछ लोग को नहीं पसंद होता है. सो सम पीपल दे परफॉर्म बेटर व्हेन दे आर अंडर प्रेशर. सम पीपल दे आर लाइक टू मच टू हैंडल.
How do you gauge that?
Over the period of time. What anyone is saying doesn't matter. What he is doing, action क्या है. बोलने को तो यार, so if you ask, अभी इतने लोग यहाँ पे भी हैं, कितने लोग fearless हैं. 2-4 हाथ तो उठ के आएंगे, यार I am fearless. But what is fearless? Fearless is absence of fear. आप कुछ भी करने के पहले अगर तुम्हारे दिमाग में आ गया ना कि यार that is fear. So fearless, I felt only a point कुछ % होंगे दुनिया में ना जो fearless होते हैं वाकई. Other than that, people have fear, they overcome it. They become brave, they become courageous. So fearless is not an attribute that I have. And I would admit it because I want to be brave. I want to be courageous. I want to assess the threat level. I want to assess, okay, iska solution kya hoga, what is my plan B, all those things. If I'm fearless, I may not take all of that into consideration. Arey, jo hoga dekha jayega.
Yeah.
But you have to be ready as a leader for plan B and C. So
true. I'm very fearful as well. And
I'm telling you, most of the people are.
I agree with this philosophy also. And I believe in this कि अगर मैं डरूंगा नहीं तो फिर डर को overcome कैसे करूंगा. So I let that emotion be. But
इसका मतलब नहीं कि जानबूझ के डर जाए.
नहीं मतलब obviously जानबूझ के डरते हैं क्या लोग.
आदमी कुछ भी करता है.
Have you seen people कि थोड़ा डरते हैं pressure.
I've seen people do weird things when they are scared. So
जैसे weird बताओ कुछ.
very interesting story. This is I'm talking about 90s. Late 90s में तो हम लोग डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल टूर्नामेंट के लिए गए थे. तो सीनियर डिस्ट्रिक्ट होता था, तो हमारे एक सीनियर प्लेयर थे और 2-3 प्लेयर. तो हम लोग खाना खाने जा रहे थे. हम लोग जहाँ ठहरे थे, नॉट ग्रेट फैसिलिटी है ना, तो कॉलोनी जैसा ही कुछ था. तो लाइट चली गई थी. तो चेयर्स थे, हम लोग बाहर बैठे थे. गर्मी थी, तो समर में होता है टूर्नामेंट. सो वी सॉ फ्यू यंगस्टर्स कमिंग. तो यार कुछ प्रैंक करते हैं. जो सीनियर थे ना, भैया थे, उनको हमने बोला कि भैया आप अंदर चले जाओ, चेयर लेके चले जाना. तो उनको हम बोलेंगे यार चेयर लेके आ जाओ, इधर ही बैठ. चलो ठीक है. तो वो अंदर चले गए. और these boys देखा, हमें लगा यार कहाँ हो, चल चेयर लेके इधर ही बैठते हैं, लाइट तो है नहीं, थोड़ी देर बैठते हैं. हाँ भैया. So one of them went for chair and once he went inside, अंदर डार्क कॉरिडोर था, सीढ़ी घर हम लोग बोलते थे. तो अंदर से जोर सी आवाज आई. And then we see both of them coming out and this guy is actually गोदी में, वो सीनियर प्लेयर के गोदी में है, and he's shouting. So he got scared, but instead of running, he jumped and clinged onto him. So I've seen people do weird things, when they're scared.
Did the senior mind or
no?
It was all healthy and fun. नहीं तो senior चिढ़ जाएगा, वो कैसे करा?
नहीं यार, वो वाकई में डर गया था.
You also said कि आपको ना on field, off field assess करना पड़ता है, split second में decision लेना पड़ता है. You are often, or not often, like you're most of the times, you're applauded for the decisions you take. तो महेंद्र सिंह धोनी की decision making framework क्या है? How do you take these decisions कि हर time split second decision सही कैसे हो जाता है?
यार सही होता है, नहीं होता है. often अगर क्रिकेट की बात करें तो the person justifies the decision. यार मैं ना bowler हूँ, batsman हूँ, but usually on the field I'm not a bowler. I make a field change, I'll do this, I'll do that. I give a responsibility to someone. That guy proves the decision whether it is right or wrong. But what I do is, according to whatever experience I have over the years, me when I was the captain, or seeing other captains before me, or watching the games, whatever has happened against the same individual, stuff like that helps me take a decision. It's not right or wrong. So you feel it's the right decision at that point of time. Right or wrong, तो वो justify बाद में होता है. So you have to be honest enough to say if it doesn't work, like I felt that was the right decision at that point of time. There are reasons behind it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. क्वेश्चन मार्क्स होते हैं, बॉलर का फॉर्म क्या है, बैट्समैन का फॉर्म क्या है, बॉलर का वीकनेस क्या है, विकेट कैसा है. अब लेट्स से किसी बैट्समैन का वीकनेस स्पिन है, उस विकेट में स्पिन नहीं हो रहा है, यू गो फॉर अ स्पिनर or you're forced to go for a spinner. So stuff like that happen in cricket, and I feel it happens in sport. हमारे गेम में ना it's actually quite funny कि जब आप खराब फॉर्म से गुजर रहे होगे ना, your worst form, तो जो ऑपोजिशन का पार्ट टाइमर होगा वो बॉलिंग कर रहा होगा, somehow you'll get an edge. जो सबसे खराब फील्डर होगा ना, he will take a brilliant one-handed catch. ये क्रिकेट में होता है. Nobody knows why, but that's why they say, cricket is it's a great leveler, so if you don't give it the kind of respect, it's like life, if you don't give it the kind of respect, it comes back and bites.
So your decision making framework is कि जो दूसरे लोगों ने decisions कहीं पे लिए, उन सब से
what have I learned
from those
decisions, and whatever my database is, depending on the individual who's part of the side. तो हमें तो पता ही होगा कौन से 5 बॉलर हमारे हैं, एक तो पार्ट टाइमर होंगे टीम.
So for that, is experience helps you take that decision, or is key learning from maybe books or people or watching things or mentors?
I think it's the same. You're just increasing your database through various ways. आप दूसरों को देख के अपना डेटाबेस बढ़ा रहे हो, आप खुद लर्न करने की कोशिश कर रहे हो, जितने मैचेस का आप पार्ट हो, that becomes a database. It's just that you should be able to manage the data. क्योंकि again आपको डिसीजन बहुत जल्दी लेना है. And then at times, it becomes a 50-50. तो फिर तो कॉइन की तरह ही होता है, यार इसको ट्राई कर.
Tell me an incident जहाँ पर आप indecisive थे and you lost an opportunity.
नहीं, ऐसा तो नहीं है. Indecisive. So even if you're indecisive, nobody should get to know you're indecisive.
Oh.
A bad decision by a leader is better than everybody knowing it's an indecisive captain or leader.
So even if you're taking a bad decision, you're not sure.
First of all, when you take the decision, you don't know it's a bad decision.
Yeah. So when you're taking,
that's why I say, as a leader, as a captain, it's very important to be honest. हम गलती करेंगे. It's bound to happen. You should take responsibility for that, and people love and respect you for doing it. You may feel bad at the moment, but in the long run, they'll love and respect you. If you are the same in front and behind the back, it helps a lot. Because in today's world, we love to gossip, we love to do things, and never make rules. ऐसा होना चाहिए, वैसा होना चाहिए. Do it. Especially when you're gauging or playing with stars, where everybody's a star, well-known guys. It always helps when you are willing to do it. खुद से करो, बाकी सब follow करेंगे.
But ये कहीं से तो आया होगा ना कि indecisive होके decision लेने से better है कि decisive होके कुछ भी decision ले लो, right or wrong doesn't matter. कभी तो हुआ होगा उससे पहले.
It matters, but for me it's difficult to put it in words,
But कभी कुछ opportunity हुई होगी, then you decide कि इससे better तो मैं ये कर दिया, किसी को देखा होगा.
नहीं, वो तो फिर once you know the result, you always fall the other way. Let's say you decide A, you lose the game or whatever, you say B was better option. That is always a human tendency.
No, I'm not asking that. I'm asking कि आपने बोला कि indecisive होके दिखाना and decision लेना उससे better है कि जो भी decision ले रहे हो तुम्हें पता है वो गलत हो या सही हो, doesn't matter, but take it so decisively that team should not know.
No.
तो ये
so
क्यों बोला
usually what happens, that's why I kept the word being honest right at the start. So what is indecisive? It may be a 50-50 scenario. It will never be like कि मुझे क्या करना है, मुझे यही नहीं पता. That means you have succumbed to the pressure. Yeah. So more often than not, you may not take the right decision because you may be inclined towards a certain thing. But what is important is to quickly search the engine and say, okay, what may work the best over here? So it's not being indecisive. More often than not, you'll hardly see people who are doing the leading job as indecisive. Somewhere in their mind, they have decided. But कई बार क्या होता है ना कि ऐसा करने से वैसा, वैसा से वैसा. So now you're moving ahead. You're not in the present. You're looking at the result. कि यार अगर मैं ये करूं और ये result favor में नहीं आया तो मेरी ज़्यादा खिंचाई होगी. The thing is, you have to honestly take the right decision that you feel at that point of time. It may work, it may not work. But आपने क्या किया है, आप जो एक बेसिक प्रिंसिपल था, उससे आप हट के नाउ यू आर थिंकिंग अबाउट द रिजल्ट कि यार इसको नहीं, अगर मैं इसको सिलेक्ट करता हूँ हार भी जाएंगे ना, लोग कुछ नहीं बोलेंगे. सो नाउ दैट इज अ रॉन्ग डिसीजन.
पब्लिक प्लीजिंग डिसीजन.
हाँ, वो नहीं होना चाहिए. देयर इज अ रोल एंड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी फॉर यू एंड यू हैव टू डू इट टू द कोर ऑफ योर हार्ट कि ये मुझे सही लगा, मैंने किया. अगेन सही होगा गलत होगा, बट वो डिसीजन लेना इंपॉर्टेंट है. पब्लिक प्लीजिंग में कुछ नहीं है. आज बच जाओगे, कल बच जाओगे, बचते बचते बच नहीं सकते. ना कभी रोड रोलर के नीचे आना ही है. सो व्हाट इज इंपॉर्टेंट इज पीपल अगेन ह्यूमन सी द एब्स्ट्रैक्ट साइड ऑफ इट. जो आप बोल रहे हो, जो आप कर रहे हो, आप वही बोलोगे, वही करते रहोगे ना, या तो बेवकूफ बोल देंगे कि यार इम्प्रूव नहीं कर रहा है. बट इफ दे सी द इम्प्रूवमेंट, इफ दे सी द विलिंगनेस, दे स्टार्ट अप्रिशिएटिंग इट. अब आज की डेट में मैं कुछ भी कर रहा हूँ, मैं रॉकेट साइंटिस्ट नहीं बन सकता, तो वो मेरे स्ट्रीम के बाहर है. बट इफ आई एम गुड एट समथिंग एंड if I maintain myself, people will see that and they appreciate it.
But you do so many things already.
Not a lot.
You do a lot of things. But is there I want to finish the decision making and move ahead, but is there a mental technique कोई यूज करते हो जो हाई स्टेक डिसीजन में, लाइक विजुअलाइज करते हो कि ये ऐसी बॉल आएगी तो ऐसी मारूंगा, या सेल्फ टॉक होता है दिमाग में कि ये डिसीजन है वो डिसीजन है, या बॉडी एक्सपीरियंस, लाइक आई वाज रीडिंग अबाउट माइकल जॉर्डन कि उसको उसके अगर बॉल आई तो उसको पता ही नहीं है कि बास्केट कैसे नहीं मारना है, लाइक इट्स जस्ट अ थिंग. सो इज इट लाइक अ बॉडी एक्सपीरियंस, बॉल आई तो कैसे छक्का नहीं मारना पता ही नहीं. What is it like? Visualization, bodily, like what is a technique that you use?
I think we all do visualization, and they say it's best before sleeping if you visualize a bit and then leave it.
You do?
Yeah. So we all visualize, but whether it helps you, hit the kind of shot you want to hit, that's a different scenario. I feel we practice for that. So we train the mind, but of course at the same time we have to train the body so that that muscle memory gets in and you react. You can't be forcing your mind and body to take a decision when everything is happening so fast. You want it to be muscle memory. That's why when you're playing fast bowlers, you practice at a pace where you get used to it. Or if it's turning a lot, how to manage the turn and everything. So I feel you have to keep practicing, and that's how you get that confidence. The confidence is all about, yes, I've practiced enough. Second is, yes, I've been in that situation multiple number of times. You won't win 100 out of 100 games or 10 out of 10. But percentage wise, anything that's more than 50% is considered very good. But
you visualize now?
I visualize like before the game and all. I visualize who are the opposition bowlers. Abhi sirf IPL खेल रहा हूँ, so who may bowl at what point of time. So you're not taken by surprise. Commentator बात करेंगे, अरे the batsman looks surprised. Whether the batsman is surprised or not, only the batsman knows.
True.
So you have to be ready for everything, and then you need to believe in the training that you have done. That it will help you negate whatever is thrown at you. Again, form becomes a factor at times because cricket में पता नहीं आप उस समय कैसे form में चल रहे हो. What do you prefer? What you don't prefer? So it's a constant. Some decisions against you may be very successful right now. In 3 months' time, that may be a bad decision. So
fair.
That needs to be assessed.
You said you visualize and that's a part of your preparation. तो जब भी आप कुछ न्यू करने जाते हो, कैसे प्रिपेयर करते हो खुद को फॉर दैट न्यू स्टेप? बिकॉज यू हैव डन सो मेनी रोल्स राइट नाउ. फर्स्ट जो प्रॉब्ली जिनको आप देखते थे साथ में, उनके साथ टीम मेंबर बने, देन उनके साथ टीम लीड करने लगे, देन दैट हैपेंड, नाउ यू आर स्टार्टिंग अ न्यू वेंचर टुडे. सो मेनी थिंग्स आप स्टार्ट करते हो, तो इनिशियल डेज में क्या प्रिपरेशन करते हो?
Yep, I have prepared more for cricket because that's my stream. That's my bread and butter. So usme we put in a lot of effort. Other than that, in life, I've said that I like myself to be a bit careless. I know it's a word that was not used very nicely in the 90s, but aaj ke date mein, you have to be a bit careless in life. I cannot take care of everything that's floating around. Social media, people's give you, friends ka kya chal raha hai, iska kya chal raha hai. At the end of the day, I need to be in a healthy or a good state of mind to help others or to help myself. So I feel it's important to be a bit careless in life. Other than that, you have to be motivated. You have to figure out what you are doing. But at the same time, most of the other things that I do, I rely on others. If I'm getting into business, I'm not a businessman. I may have ideas. I may tell them how to implement, but ultimately it's up to them. So you have to take that leap of faith. So you need good partners because it's not cricket. Cricket, yes, I have a good partner. There's a batsman, there's a bowler, there's a team. We together take care of everything. But in life, you'll meet some good people, you'll meet some bad people. The important thing is if somebody betrays your trust, it's not like you stop trusting everyone. What you do is you move on. The whole thing about life is you want to find those few good peoples that become part of your life, that make you happy.
Yeah.
And the whole journey is that. ये तो weeding out तो चलता रहेगा, but what is important is to find those good people.
So now you're saying कि जैसे the new venture that you're starting, इन सब के लिए you're a little careless.
I am.
You're like कि सही team है उनको
I only worry about the things that are in my control. We have launched the app. Now we need to look at how we want to promote it. And I always said, particularly talking about this app, we are talking about this 1 year back. तो हमने बोला यार, come up with something, where you can give something back to the fans. क्या दे सकते हैं यार? The kind of love and affection that we get, from them. गर्मी होती है, ठंड होती है. They come, they watch the game, they appreciate us. There's nothing literally we can do for them. I said, let's plan something. So they're like, okay, we'll make some kind of a plan. And that's where this idea came from. It took us 1 year to finally now we have been able to implement it. It's not like बहुत ज़्यादा हम कुछ दे रहे हैं, but proper Indian, थोड़ा extra हम दे रहे हैं, so you can register your credit card, your debit card, whatever. We'll have outlets, franchises where you get something extra. All these credit cards, they have their own reward schemes and everything. So what this does is gives you access of maybe another 1 to 4%, 5% more, maybe discount, maybe some scheme, something is going on. Plus, I would try to share a bit more of what is happening in my life, where I can directly engage with the fans, pictures, videos, or whatever it may be. So that's what the whole thinking is.
But ऐसे idea कैसे आया आपका? Start कैसे हुआ कि चलो यही
अरे ये इसी से start हुआ था. You were just talking and थोड़ा और कहीं से आया था तो मेरे दिमाग में आया fans के लिए कुछ करते हैं ना. Because anyway is doing a lot, so if it can involve the fans, then why not? Where the fans feel directly they are connected.
So you wear multiple hats, right? You are a cricketer Dhoni, you're a husband Dhoni, a father Dhoni, you're an entrepreneur, you're a farmer, you do bunch of different things. And आपने एक word use किया भी trust का. So apart from trust, what do you think दूसरे parallels क्या हैं जो हर धोनी में same है? Entrepreneur धोनी में भी है जो app launch कर रहे हैं, and
discipline,
cricketer में भी है.
Discipline, hard work. Again, the basic principles of life, and that pleasure of accomplishment.
Okay, let me make it a little more specific. एक value बताओ जो non-negotiable होगी cricketer धोनी के लिए, entrepreneur धोनी के लिए, and human being धोनी के लिए. तीनों के लिए एक value बताओ. Tell me 3 values जो non-negotiable, कितना भी कुछ भी हो जाए मैं नहीं ये value discount करूँगा.
Basic discipline. And I'm talking about myself. I'm not talking about a third person.
Just you.
So how I am disciplined when it comes to cricket, I'll be the same. If I have a business, I'm the same as a human being. So discipline, something very basic as being on time. I believe in that. So even Mumbai, when we do our shoots and everything, so they have a call time. Like, boss, your city, I cannot give you a call time. This time I will leave from the hotel, whatever time I reach. So we don't have a call time. I said, this time I will leave. It may take 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 1 hour, 15 minutes. I cannot bank on. So I always felt it was better to communicate that. कि ये बोल दो कि सर हमें शॉट चाहिए, आप 11 बजे आ जाइए. मैं बोला नहीं होगा, आप बाद में ही करो, नहीं हो सकता. So it's always better to just tell them, and somehow they always figure out, वो शाम में भी सवेरे का शूट कर लेते. So they're good at it.
Yeah. So, एक value discipline. Tell me 2 and 3. I like the insight that you give कि मुंबई वाले traffic का, that is so
again controllable नहीं है. हाँ. I'm a bit careless about it. जितना time लगेगा क्या कर सकते.
So एक हो गया discipline. Tell me 2 and 3.
Hard work.
हाँ. हर जगह same. Even today you believe in the same amount of hard work that you started as like young.
यार hard work का substitute नहीं है. मेरे father भी बोलते थे, grandfather भी बोलते होंगे, मैं भी बोलूँगा. मेरे coming generation भी बोलेंगे. There is no substitute to hard work. People may have different views saying, the lazy person often finds the best way of doing the job with the least amount of effort. तो उसके नजरिए में वो भी hard work है.
Yeah.
Because he is lazy. So hard work is again important.
Second and third.
या third में क्या बोलूँ? Discipline, hard work, commitment. पिक एनी,
एनीथिंग, कमिटमेंट
2 हो जाएगा तो थर्ड में एडजस्ट कर लेंगे.
अच्छा ठीक है. So discipline, hard work and commitment are the top 3 values for Dhoni everywhere in life. That's everywhere. Okay, I have to ask you an interesting question on this. अगर today's Mahendra Singh Dhoni had to give a feedback to the player Dhoni, okay, like you are a mentor now, knowing everything कि आपने उस प्लेयर की आपने सब चीजें देखी है, हर डिसीजन आपको पता है, क्या कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस है, एवरीथिंग यू नो. So as a mentor, what feedback will you give to the player Dhoni कि भाई ये करना था, ये नहीं करना था, ऐसा सही था, ऐसा सही था?
I feel it becomes slightly wrong to do it because I've seen the result.
Nice.
So once you know the result, decision making is very easy. So I feel God has been kind. The teams that I've played with, we had a bunch of great cricketers. We had good opposition. So I'm very thankful. And the fact of life, one of the other facts of life is to accept. And there comes a time for everything. So I'm very thankful the way cricket, whatever I was able to do in cricket. क्योंकि आज की डेट में मैं एक रन भी अपने इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट का बढ़ा नहीं सकता हूँ, ना कोई घटा सकता है. So whatever it is, whether you're happy or not happy. So I'm very happy with whatever happens. So for me, it hardly matters.
So there's no feedback. It's like
feedback.
भाई जो करा सही है.
हाँ. अब तो जो भी हुआ सही है. अब तो जो भी हुआ सही हुआ.
But never even in personal life or at any point. Never. You are always like very.
Because what we don't understand is, yes, I may say something, but it may have a cascading effect on different things. So कई बार हमें लगता है कि यार सब कुछ तुम्हारा अच्छा था, ये अगर तुमने किया होता ना, बट ये जो चीज है ना, ये किसी का जगह ले रही है, और वो किस चीज का जगह ले रही है हमें नहीं पता.
True.
And now because it will never happen, we don't know. It's like a bike, यार रेडिएटर बड़ा कर देते हैं, चलो यार बड़ा करेंगे, उसका भी कुछ प्रॉब्लम होगा, माइलेज कम होगा, there will be a drag, कुछ ना कुछ तो होगा. So there will be something that will happen, but since it will never be implemented, it only sounds good.
Yeah.
That's why I don't believe in comparing cricketers or players of different generation. कि ये better है या वो better थे या better था. Like how does it matter? I celebrated that guy, I'm celebrating. Yeah. Why do I need to? Because they played with different people. The way the cricket was played was different. The conditions were different. The gears that the cricketers used were different. So, there's no point comparing, but it's become like a thing where people can talk about it. But we don't know. People played against the great West Indian bowling. That was different. There may be players, spinners like Shane Warne, Muralidharan, greats of the game, but it's very difficult to compare. But I feel often we compare for the sake of comparing. Because it becomes a talking point. Match के पहले, match के बाद, social media में, we can keep talking about it.
So you were speaking about different generations, different eras, और किसी को किसी compare नहीं करना चाहिए, right? So if the captain Mahi has to pick all-time 11, who would you pick from any era?
I've never picked one. The reason is simple. जो चीज हो नहीं सकती, मैंने तो एक बार press conference में बोला भी था. They asked me about one individual who was injured, who wasn't available. तो उसके बारे में सवाल में बोला, भाई एक चीज बताता जो टीम में नहीं है, वो मेरे लिए क्या कर सकता है, या वो टीम के लिए क्या कर सकता है. जो नहीं है उसके बारे में क्यों बात करें. इंडिया में थोड़ा ऐसा भी है ना, जो टीम में नहीं होता है वही बेटर प्लेयर होता है somehow, चाहे वो इंजर्ड हो चाहे वो नहीं हो. बट द फैक्ट इज ही इज नॉट अवेलेबल फॉर सिलेक्शन. द अमाउंट ऑफ इम्पैक्ट ही कैन हैव ऑन द गेम इज zero. I will worry about the people who can actually have an impact on the game.
But who would you wanna see playing? Let's say not game, like just very random. एक opening pair, एक bowling spell और एक all rounder. Pick any from any generation, any era, any country. ये 3-4 player जो you would like to see them play together.
Yeah, I would stick to my Indian players, man.
Nice.
Virupa opening the innings. So Virupa, Sachin, Dada. Because the thing is, imagine everyone at their prime. And the beauty is, जब उनको आप देखोगे ना, आपको लगेगा इनसे अच्छा कोई हो ही नहीं सकता है.
True.
But cricket एक ऐसा गेम है जो ऊपर नीचे चलता रहता है. Now becomes very difficult how to pick. But growing up, we have all seen these players perform. यूवी जब 6 छक्के मार रहा था, अब दुनिया में बोलोगे मुझे किसी और को नहीं देखना. So the thing is, why I should pick anyone? Why can't I just enjoy everyone? They all contributed for India.
Lovely.
They all made sure that we win many tournaments wherever we are playing. Yes, पहले का everything is not documented in the sense इस तरीके का coverage नहीं होता था, तो there are a lot of performances that I may not be aware of, or the other generations may not be aware of, but some of the talent that we have seen, especially at their peak, it'll be like
mind blowing. So you talk about contribution, and हमने भी आपकी first innings की बात कर ली. This is your second innings in short, right? कि जहाँ पे you are thinking about contribution and giving back, and you always come back with this mindset कि यार थोड़ा और, right? कि मेरे को T20 वर्ल्ड कप मिल गया, थोड़ा और मेन मुझे फिर 50 और वर्ल्ड कप चाहिए, फिर थोड़ा और मुझे फिर आईपीएल में भी ऐसे ही करना है. नाउ ये सब होते जा रहा है. नाउ यू आर लाइक मुझे बिजनेस में भी वेंचर करना है, देन थोड़ा और मुझे फैंस को भी देना है. सो व्हाट इज दिस थोड़ा और माइंडसेट दैट यू हैव?
We had a press meet before this, and they're explaining the same thing. When we were growing up, तो हम लोग फुचका, पानी पूरी, पानी बताशा, जो भी आपको गोलगप्पे, तो हम लोग खाने के लिए जाते थे. तो जब खत्म हो जाता है तो आदमी बोलता है यार एक सूखा दे दो. सब्जी खरीदने जाओ यार, सबके बाद एक धनिया पत्ता दे दो या तेज पत्ता, कुछ भी ऐसा होता है. So we always have that thing in us, like कि यार थोड़ा और. So this app is about giving that extra to the fans, and at the same time, letting them know about what's going in my life a bit more. So extra thoda aur ki jo baat hai wo dono taraf se hai. So once they register and once they use their debit or credit cards, they will be able to give them some extra benefits apart from whatever the card issuer has given. So, and most likely in the future we'll be able to talk to some of the other clients or some of the other institutions and try to get them on board with different kind of benefits that will help them. So it's a way of saying thank you to the fans, and at the same time thoda or from my life, maybe a bit more glimpse of what all I do when I'm in Ranchi or elsewhere. I've been against you can say I don't post when I have done it, in the sense अगर मैं अभी मुंबई में कुछ कर रहा हूँ, I won't post right now. Okay. I'll post it after a few days. Generally keep the timeline slightly off. So that's what I would like to do over here also. But it will give a glimpse of my life, what is happening to the fans.
So is it for everyone? Everybody can download it and every card holder can actually get into it and they'll get rewards?
Yeah. Which will clarify more, if they put terms and conditions. But yeah, that's what the plan is.
That's that. And does that also mean like this is your officially now the second inning, you're like out of the first, you're retiring, ऐसा कुछ है?
नहीं यार, अभी तो नहीं, because I'm still playing IPL and kept it very simple. I take it 1 year at a time. I'm 43, so by the time I finish this July, I'll be 44. So I have then 10 months to decide if I want to play one more year or not. And it's not me deciding, it's the body that tells you whether you can or cannot.
Yeah.
So 1 year at a time, fully focused on what needs to be done right now. उसके बाद देखेंगे ना, 8-10 महीने का time.
True. Okay. Here's a... Before I ask you this question, I want you to take a little breath. Like just a little deep breath. And while you're doing that, it's... if the MSD of today had to be grateful and show gratitude towards the player you have been, what will you be the most grateful for? कि इस इंसान ने आपके लिए क्या किया?
I am a perfect recipe of the hard work and assistance of a lot of people. Right from my school days, including my parents, my games teacher, the people that I started playing proper leather ball cricket with.
Yeah.
The first school ka summer camp. Then all the tennis ball cricket that I have played, because yes, tennis ball cricket gives you bat swing and all those things, but that will to win, nahi mujhe jeetna hai, tournament jeetna hai, contribute karna hai, perform karna hai, all those things, it doesn't matter which sport you are playing, because sports mein kya hai na, ki nobody plays a sport jahan pe aap हारना चाहते हो. But also it's important to accept कि हाँ मैं हार गया. You'll come back stronger and you'll win. So I feel सारे लोगों का कंट्रीब्यूशन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, डिफरेंट लेवल. किसी ने मुझे यहाँ अपॉर्चुनिटी दी, किसी ने मुझे वहाँ अपॉर्चुनिटी दी. सो देयर इज नो स्मॉल और बिग अपॉर्चुनिटी, बिकॉज ऑल ऑफ देम आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. इट्स वन ऑफ दोज वे पे कहीं पे कोई नट अगर आपने निकाल दिया ना, तो मेरी पूरी बाइक ही खुल के नीचे गिर सकती है. सो स्टफ लाइक दैट. सो आई एम ग्रेटफुल टू अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल, एंड the thing is, a lot of them may not even know that I'm grateful to them. So stuff like that. But that's how life is.
But I like the the answer that you gave. Ki, I'm grateful that this person gave you a will to win. That's so.
Not a person. It's cricket.
So cricket gave you that.
So every time when you play, टेनिस बॉल हो, लेदर बॉल हो, स्कूल क्रिकेट हो, कुछ भी हो, आप जीतना चाहते हो, या आप गली क्रिकेट खेल रहे हो. Whenever we used to play as a team, we never thought about losing. जीतना है, जैसे भी जीतना है. ऑपोजिशन में अच्छे प्लेयर हैं, खराब प्लेयर, जैसे. It's not like we won 100%, but that will to win, how to handle the defeat is also an important part of life. अगर आप जीत गए, how to handle success, how to handle the win, stuff like that. So it was very important. That's why I felt sport teaches you something that studies may take a while. हर दिन शाम को जब आप खेलते हो या जीतते हो या हारते हो, तो वो आदत पड़ी जाती है कि हैंडल कैसे करना है. So that's why matches are very important. Examinations, unit test होगा, half yearly, quarterly exam होगा, आजकल weekly भी चालू हो गया है, but still it is different. Sports में वो होता है, that motivation is extra 10%. यार कल तो हराना है, आज हार गया लेकिन कल तो हराना है.
So now, are you extremely motivated, and do you have this will to win with this new venture as well?
I would love to, but again, even when I'm thinking that, I'm thinking more about the process. So जैसे हम मैच हार के जीतने की भी बात करते थे, तो हम ये सोचते थे यार गलती कहाँ पे हुई थी, कहाँ हमें इम्प्रूव करना है. So we can't just keep thinking about जीतना है. कैसे is the more important thing. The process that will eventually get you the result. Process गलत हुआ तो वापस से आप ड्राइंग बोर्ड में आते हो, but not just thinking about अरे जीतना है. So we have figured out the process. Now we have to implement it. फिर अगर implementation के बाद उस तरीके का success नहीं मिला, तो you go back to the drawing board, alter your plans a bit, and then start executing it.
So here's the last question, कि जितने लोग ये अब आपके लिए grateful हैं, आपके सारे fans हैं, जिनका थोड़ा और mindset भी है, जो और लाइफ से और चाहते हैं, हर जगह से ज़्यादा चाहते हैं, and अगर वो ये डाउनलोड कर लेते हैं ऐप, what will they get?
I think for them what they're getting is a glimpse into my life, and I think my fans, especially, they want to know कि इसके जिंदगी में क्या चल रहा है. अभी क्या
I want to know.
So that's the thing. So I feel for them the motivation is not these rewards or anything else. I think for them the greater or the bigger reward is they want to know what's happening in my life.
Will you show a lot of things?
I will try to, as I said, and again I repeat the same thing day in and day out when I'm in Ranchi. So after a while they will be like, ये बड़ा बोरिंग है यार, ये हर दिन एक बाइक पकड़ लेता है, स्टेडियम चला जाता है, जिम करके वापस आता है, बैठ जाता है, जानवरों के साथ खेलता है, ये करता है, वो करता है, but that's how it is.
So people will, but now they'll get to see on day-to-day basis कि ये life में sneak peek क्या है.
Otherwise they just see me riding on the road, हेलमेट पहन के निकल जाता है, कहाँ जाता है किसी को नहीं पता है, and just he comes back after a couple of hours maybe. So I don't know, I will see how the fans react. I know one thing for sure, that they will react, because that's how my fans have been, and I'm grateful to them, so for being with me by my side throughout my cricketing career.
I am grateful to you for every little thing. I am your fan. I'm downloading this app, and I'm grateful for this conversation जो आपने मेरे साथ करी. I just hope and wish you all the luck कि ये उतनी successful हो जितना everything that you've touched has been successful. Thank you so much for doing this. It was pleasure, and I'm happy you're July born, I'm July born.
We are good people.
We are good people.
That doesn't mean anybody is bad.